That's how you cook beef rib. Lee Barbecue Smoker style right here. Hey, welcome back. I'm Jason Hardy with Lee Barbecue Smokers, and today we're doing beef short ribs. That's what we got right here. This is Black Angus short ribs. This comes from U.S. Foods here. This is not normally something we cook a lot of because honestly it's hard to find. But when you find these, buy them. Because when you cook them up, they're absolutely amazing. Probably one of the best flavorful pieces of meats out there. So that being stated, let's get to prepping so we can get to cooking. First off, these are choice right here. This is choice Black Angus we got from U.S. Foods. But these are what we had today because I seen them in the grocery store and I'm like, okay, I need to do a video on these. So that's what we got going on, so we can cook them today. But it's a very simple process. It's not hard. It's not intimidating. But when you cook them right, it's going to really be awesome. And to do these today, we're cooking these on the Recteq 1250 pellet smokers. And that's one of the things I want to show with this here. I want to show that you can take these ribs right here and you can cook them on a pellet smoker and you can really just bring out the flavors inside them. And it really makes it pop. But everybody can do it. You just got to go out there and try it. So that's kind of what the process is today. So let's talk about beef ribs right here. These short ribs. This is not what you find at local Walmarts, grocery stores, food lines. Most of the time these are sold like on specialty shops. The reason for these is these are very sought after. But these are not to be mistaken for the beef ribs you get from the local grocery stores. Those are usually short. And sometimes you get them with meat on them, sometimes they're all fat. And that's just what they are. They trimmed off of this here, on this side right here actually. And they're just sold out there because they just can be sold. They're good. They're great for stews, for things like that. But when you really want to do a beef rib, you need to find these. And like I said, can't get them in the grocery stores, find them online. Go to your local butcher shop. They can get it hooked up to it. Get you hooked up for that. But there's going to be a little bit of trimming for these. If you see on right here, see all this silver skin right in here? This one has got some right here. We want to get rid of this silver skin because if you don't, it's going to make them tough. So we want to get rid of it. So the best way to do that is go in the middle of it, kind of go inside of it. And don't try to do it all at one time. You want to go small. What we don't want to do is get the meat off of it. So I'm going to take it and just kind of cut back. And when I do this, I don't have that much meat on there, but I got a little bit. Now, you can try to take it and trim it like you would skin normally and come back this way. But what you're going to find out is it's going to do this on you. It's going to pop off. So the best way to do it is kind of go inside and then cut your way back. And do that number. That way you can kind of keep cutting it. When you try to pull it back up like that, like I said, it's just going to make it more and more difficult. So we're going to trim these up right here. This will take me a few minutes right here. I'm going to show you the process. So stick around, be right back. Alright, so now you can see I got them trimmed up. You see how I've trimmed them up right here. You see I took all the silver skin off of here. Got a little bit left right here. I'm not really worried about the small pieces. But I had that fat, kind of took it off and got that little silver skin underneath that fat cap it had right here on both sides. See all the marbling this got here? Really good. These two ribs were really good. These two over here has got the marbling, but it's a little bit different. The grain kind of shifts a little bit, so these are not going to be quite as juicy as these two are. However, they're both can be really well. So we've trimmed those up. We got the fat cap off them a little bit, and but you can see here, you can see how much meat there is here and this one, and then this one's kind of a thinner one, and then this one here is kind of picks back up a bigger bone. So that's the process with these. So these are short ribs. So we're gonna light the Recteq. We're gonna set the temperature to 225. I want to kind of go low and slow for about the first 2.5 to 3 hours. Kind of give a good set the bark on it. Kind of give it an opportunity to set that on there. So then I'm gonna spritz it the entire time with some apple cider vinegar, about every 30 to 45 minutes, just long enough to maintain the moisture on top of it to allow that smoke to adhere to the meat. And let's get this party started. So let's light the Recteq. Like I said, pretty simple. Push the button. Set it 225. So the pellets we run today in our Recteq 1250 here, we run a 50% blend of Royal charcoal pellets and a 50% blend of Recteq Ultimate Blend. I love that combination. You see me using it and tell everybody about it in the past here. You get that charcoal from the charcoal pellets. You get that wood from the wood pellets. Kind of mixed together. It makes one unbelievable smoke and gives good flavor to the meat. So check that one out if you hadn't done it. So that being said, we're going to put seasoning on here. So there's two seasonings we're going to use today is ShuckleBuster 1836 and Rufus Teague steak rub. Here's what we're doing. This right here has got no sugar in it. It's got salt, it's got black pepper, it's got some onion salt stuff into it. Really good flavor for the beefy flavor we're looking for. So I'm going to get this in here pretty liberal on there. Rufus Teague steak rub, giving that kind of that steaky flavor back into it. But you got to be careful of this because it's got some sugar. Because we're doing a long burn like we're talking about here, this sugar in here can kind of burn on top of it and char it a little bit. That being stated, it helps to give a good bark. you love the smoke from the Recteq? But you love how that just kind of, it needs to be my opening credits, don't you think? You got smoke coming through there, kind of like, wow, over there. Goes good with this seasoning here, these beef short ribs here. Kind of gives a good little bit of a introduction, cinematic performance, as they call it. My wife is so looking forward to these. We bought these, I seen it in the store the other day, and she's like, "You got to get those. You got to cook those because the flavor of these, man, it's just unreal sometimes." All right, so now I'm gonna come right here, like I said, with some steak rub, Rufus Teague steak rub. Not a lot. I want that sugar just kind of give a little bit extra into it because I love this rub. That being stated, we're gonna let these here sit about 10 minutes. Let them kind of just, the moisture into the meat come out here and adhere this rub to the meat. By that time here, Recteq 1250 should be up temperature. So put these bad boys on. It's gonna be a good one. So stick around. Be right back. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes. The Recteq 1250 here is up to temperature of 225 degrees is what you're looking for that. So you can see right here, you can see that the seasoning and everything is adhered to the meat very well. You can see shaking, it's not coming off. That's what we're looking for. One thing to keep in mind right here, if you look right here, if you notice in the video, I didn't remove this membrane, I didn't score it, I didn't do anything to it. You need to leave the membrane on when you're doing beef ribs. That way it kind of holds the consistency and the texture of the ribs kind of holding together. It won't affect the flavor, it won't affect the bite, because you're going to be biting from the top of this rib, unlike a pork or spare ribs where you do a complete bite through. All this is going to be on top of it. So let's go ahead and put these bad boys on the grill. Let's get this party started. Alright, so it's been about 5 hours now. So our beef ribs have been on the Recteq, they've been cooking 225 degrees. I'm gonna pull them out, we're gonna wrap them up in butcher paper and some tinfoil, and then we're gonna put them back on there, we're gonna crank it up about 275, we're gonna keep cooking until we get the tenderness we're looking for. So let's pull them off, let's check what we got. You can see right here, it's got a really good pullback from the bone. That tells me that this is kind of getting close where it needs to be at. It's got really good color on it, good deep the mahogany on there. You see the back right here, see how it's shrunk up? That's why we don't take that off. That's basically holding that meat together on this rib bone. So they look good. Put them really good on apple cider vinegar here. And all this is doing is kind of adding a little bit of moisture in there to kind of add something to it. You can add some tallow. The tallow works good, but apple cider vinegar works very well too. So what I've done is basically created 2 layers of protection there to keep moisture from getting out. So what we're doing right now is basically taking this and putting the fat stuff in there because it's starting to break down more, and basically for the most part kind of breaking it all down, boiling it all down. We got the terminology for that. That'll be some fancy word for that. Braising, there you go. I think it's braising. Anyhow, that's what we got. We're gonna keep cooking, keep checking on these. I expect to pull them off around about 200, 208, but I'm going for feel. So once I get to that point, I'll start probing it. Once I start getting the probe where it can go in like room temperature butter, we'll pull them off. But we'll keep checking these about another hour. We'll check them again. Back in a few minutes. We're looking forward to these. These things ought to taste good. Be a freaking ninja. Flies. Flies is crazy. Hey, welcome back. So it's been about an hour and a half since we wrapped them. We've had them on Recteq 1250. I said I was going to bump it up to 275. I actually didn't do that. And left it at 225, and honestly, I'm happy I done that. I think it's really kind of just give us a good, solid, even cook through the whole process. So that was my intentions. It didn't happen in there. So we're gonna pull these bad boys off. Let's see what they look like. So I've been checking it every time I come in here, about every 20, 30 minutes. Keep checking on this. I was kind of shooting for my temperature, like I said, around 200. So I kept checking it, but for the most part, I really haven't messed around with it. You can see right here off the bat, the butcher's paper, how it's kind of absorbed all the moisture in there. It's kind of gotten the fat and stuff in there. Hopefully it's protected the bark pretty good. Let's check it out. You see it's nice and stuff. You see it start pulling back. See what I was talking about before? Started kind of pulling back on there. If we took this off of it, all this would happen and they'd fall out. So let's hold on just a little bit by prayer right there, but we'll take a prayer every day of the week, won't we? So that in there looks good. So I'm gonna take this paper and lay it back over top of it. Kind of just loosely wrap it up and kind of let it keep resting for a little while. So as you can see, this bone on the outside right here, you can see it start splitting here. One reason here could have happened is I wrapped around 170. If you let it go a little further, this may not happen that much. What's happening here is this got dehydrated, and then we added moisture to it, just slammed it. So that's kind of what's going on with this here, but it's not going to be a problem. We still got the meat attached to the bones here, so we're still good. But just keep in mind, if this happens a lot, that's kind of what you might be wrapping it too early. So it's been about 10 minutes here. These been resting right here. You can rest these longer if you want to. You actually can rest these overnight. You put them in a hot box or a cooler, or you can put them in the oven in kind of a low temperature if you want to. So as it says, it looks nice and juicy. Got a really dark bark. Bark's nice and soft. It's not hard at all. I'm gonna slice this bad boys up and see what it tastes like. I'll come right here down the middle. So look at that right there. See that smoke ring? Both sides. Nice and juicy. There, it looks good right here, don't it? Man, look at that right there. That there's perfect, man. That's how you cook beef rib. Leave off the smoker style right there. Don't that look good? Man, that man looks good, don't it? So let's taste it. Let's make sure it's good. Y'all ready? I'm ready. You see right here, I didn't go all the way through it, and I was able to bite it and pull it away that tender, that easy. That's a dang good rib right there, man. Lord have mercy, that's good. Like I said right here, beef short rib is absolutely something you need to cook at least one time. If you see this in the grocery store, buy it. Come home, check it out. Use this recipe, use this technique to cook it, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. This is probably one of the most flavorful pieces of meat you'll ever cook in your life. And it is not hard, it's very simple. It's tender, it's juicy, and I promise you, you can't go wrong with this. So, Michelle wants some of this, and I'm ready to go inside. I'm going to eat some supper. But before we do that, we're going to say the blessing. But first, we got to let Dolly try it. And she is sitting staring at me, pure teeth, drooling. She hears me. She knows what's coming. My dog is spoiled. Oh, we'll do this piece right here off the back side of this one. Dolly, you ready? That's it. You ready? You ready? All right, here you go. You got to start chewing this, girl. Good Lord. You got to enjoy it. This is really good beef right here. If Dolly liked it, I reckon Dolly like it, you would too. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. We greatly appreciate it. With all that being said, let's say the blessing. Let's go inside and eat some supper. Lord, bless the food about to receive. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Hey, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. See you next time. Michelle, these are good. Oh, y'all still watching? Well, we're getting ready to take these back and eat supper. Try this recipe out. Seriously, it's that good. See you next time.